Okay. Welcome to Pat Talks Law. This is going to be an awesome episode. In this episode, we are talking about Missouri medical marijuana. Just passed at the election, and here's some things you need to know. When it comes to medical marijuana and licensing of it in Missouri, there are some things that people don't understand about the recent amendment. Within 24 hours of that passing, my firm received 2 calls from people wondering what would happen now for someone with possession charges. Well, unfortunately, what's changed? Nothing. If you're caught with marijuana, you're still facing jail time. First offense, less than 10 grams in the state of Missouri, is up to a $500 fine. Your current charges are not going to get dropped unless the prosecutor is very, very friendly. Now, what's passed and what is the timeline? The biggest question is, when can I get medical marijuana? And the answer is, we don't know. But we can give you an idea of what that timeline is going to be. The amendment takes effect on December 6th. And that's unless there's a legal challenge that delays that. The Department of Health and Senior Services is directed to create the rules for the medical marijuana. And I have to tell you, that's asking the fox to guard the hen house. I'm not sure that that's going to be a good thing. But we'll address that at some point in the future. Applicants for licensing are going to be able to pre-file their application beginning 30 days after the effective date of the legislation, or the amendment in this case. Okay, I think this is going to be a land rush. So starting on January 5th, the people who want to run a business, cultivation, distribution, testing, manufacturing, dispensaries, they can pre-file their application fee, the $6,000. I'm expecting it's going to be a first come, first serve thing as far as the application process. I think it's going to be a land rush, and there's going to be more on that in a future video. But right now, by June 4th, the department will have to make available application forms and application instructions for marijuana cultivation, testing, dispensary, and manufacturing facilities. They're going to have to make available application forms and application instructions for qualifying patients, qualifying patient cultivation, and for primary caregiver ID cards. By July 4th of 2019, the department will have to begin accepting the applications for the ID cards. By August 3rd of 2019, the department must begin accepting license and certificate applications for the cultivation, testing, dispensary, and manufacturing facilities. Now, that's a nice thought for a timeline, but then they have 150 days. They have 5 months to approve or deny the licensing for the commercial facilities, which means the earliest we're likely to see an approved application is December 31st, 2019. Now, why do I say the earliest when that's the deadline? Because the Department of Health and Human Services has historically been anti-marijuana. They're going to drag their feet, and I expect there's going to be at least 1, 2, or more court cases. They're going to push these deadlines back some. So the earliest that we're going to see this for approval for a facility, commercial facility, will be December 31st of 2019. Now, at that point, if they're approved, then they can start setting up their facility and planting. Maybe they'll have already set their facility up and hope it meets the regulations. There'll be some of that. But the earliest you're going to see a crop go in Missouri will be probably January 1st of 2020. You're going to have growing time, then it's going to have to go out into the testing cycle and meet the other requirements that I'm sure they're going to lay in. They're going to be onerous. I'd say you're looking at mid to late summer 2020 or fall of 2020 for the first time you're going to be able to actually purchase medical marijuana legally in the state of Missouri. However, that doesn't mean that you will not be able to get marijuana legally for medicinal purposes before that, because I think you can. As I mentioned, the deadline to make the applications available for you to get your marijuana card, the application forms and instructions will be available for you by June 4th, 2019. They have to begin accepting those by July 4th, 2019, and they have to approve or deny those applications within 30 days. So you can get your personal marijuana card and your marijuana cultivation permit for personal use by August 4th of, August 3rd of 2019. That will allow you to grow up to 6 plants at your home for your personal use, provided you have the requisite cards and you've been approved. So while you may not be able to purchase marijuana commercially, legally for medicinal purposes, probably until late 2020, by the end of 2019, you should be able to start planting your own at home. So to sum up, pay attention to deadlines, pay attention to the times, get your application. We'll probably have something on the Department of Health and Senior Services website. Moving into spring, they'll say when it's going to be available, probably outline the process. I'm certain you're going to hear about court cases that are filed in the meantime. But once you get your application in, track it. They have 30 days they have to approve or deny for your card and personal cultivation. Now, that said, I'm going to ask you please like this and subscribe to Pat Talks Law. We're going to have more on Missouri's medical marijuana going forward. We're going to talk about the business aspects, what you have to pay attention to your licensing, how you want to set up, if you're going to set up a business for this. We're also going to talk about other legal things relative to criminal defense, family law, and general life and law intersections. So like and subscribe, and we'll look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.